Okay, welcome in. Have a really fun finishing mating attack in a recent game I had. This was a blitz game. I'm playing with the black pieces, and the material is almost equal. Black is up a pawn, but black's position is much better. Black has this really nice advanced f pawn. Black's king is totally safe. All the king pawns are intact, and the rook is here. This knight is in a good position. It's attacking these two pawns, and the complete reverse is true for white. So White's rook is totally hemmed in by the king. The king doesn't really have any squares to go to because this pawn is doing a great job of kind of hemming the king in, which in turn hems the rook in. The queen is on a really awkward square on a4. So this is not a good position for white. Black is definitely winning, but it's not yet a clear mating opportunity. White is, it's white's move here. And the move that white really has to make to kind of stay in the game is queen to e4. And the idea here is this prevents black from playing queen to d3 check, which is a very dangerous check. And it also puts some pressure on this f pawn, which black, maybe can defend by playing queen to d5 and offering a queen trade, but it puts pressure on this pretty dangerous pawn. Black here, the engine wants you to play knight takes on a3. It looks like white can take back with the rook, but then this would be checkmate with the queen. So I'll just review that checkmate with the queen because the pawn is kind of protecting these two escape squares. So not sure what white would play here, but this is not quite a mating attack by black. So to kind of save himself, white has to play queen to e4. Instead, white played what looked like a reasonable move. White pushed c4, hoping to kind of kick the knight out of here. It's a strong knight, so kind of want to force it to retreat. But this is actually the losing move, because it allows this very powerful queen to d3 check. Now the king has only two legal squares to go to. Obviously, if it goes to e1, then queen to e2 is checkmate. So instead, the king retreated to g1. And again, black is totally winning here. There are a lot of moves that work, but there's only one that really hastens checkmate very quickly, and that is knight to c3. So the knight is coming into the attack. We have the knight, the queen, and the pawn getting ready to attack the white king. But the bonus, did not mean to do that, but the bonus with this move is that the knight is attacking the awkwardly placed queen on a4. So what do you do here for white? Well, your queen is under attack, right? So you'd like to move that. In fact, the only move that prevents like an immediate mate for white is pushing h4, or h3 would probably work as well. The problem with this is that it loses the queen to knight takes on a4, and now black is up a queen with a better position. So my opponent did not want to go into that and instead tried to play a tricky move with rook to d1. And this looks like a reasonable move. I'm attacking the black knight is attacking the white queen, but the white rook is attacking the black queen. So if knight takes, then rook takes. It looks like I can just take this with the queen, but then queen takes, knight takes, and here I'm up a rook. That's good, but it's not a mating threat. So white's just trying to kind of get out of this attack by bringing the rook into the game, but this actually completely loses. Now we do have a forced mating attack with knight to e2, and now the king has only one square to go to. That is f1. Because this knight, again, this f pawn is the superstar of this position. The pawn is protecting g2, so the king can only move to f1. And now you can see the king is walking right into the path of the queen's x-ray. So this becomes a very dangerous knight because wherever it moves, we have a discovered check. And in this case, the correct move is knight to g3. And this is a double check. The knight is attacking the king. The queen is attacking the king. Whenever we have a double check, the king must move, because to get out of check, you either have to block, capture the piece, or move the king. And when two pieces are attacking and checking the king, you can't block and you can't capture both of them. So the king has to move. And again, here, two legal moves for the king. If the king moves to e1, this is checkmate. So instead, the king just kind of moves back to g1. Now we have all three of these. Also, we have this pawn who's been a superstar on f3. We have the knight and the queen in the attacking configuration of the king, but we have to finish it. So take a second and see if you can find the winning move here that leads to a forced checkmate for black. Okay, so hopefully you didn't say queen takes rook on d1. This looks like checkmate, queen and the pawn, but then remember the white queen can take back. The correct move here, and it looks very incorrect, is queen to f1 check. This obviously checks the king, and the king cannot take the queen because it's protected by the knight. The king can't move to g2 again because of the pawn. So what white has to play here is rook takes on f1. And it looks like we've just completely sacked a king for nothing, sacked a queen for nothing. But the nice thing is we've forced this rook over to hem this king in, and now we can just play knight to e2 checkmate. So the knight is checking the king. The pawn, again, continues to take away the g2 square, and all these other squares that the king can move to are blocked by his own pieces. So a really cool finish, almost a smothered mate, not quite. Smothered mate, we'd have some white piece here, but now in this case, the pawn is helping the knight deliver this semi-smothered mate. And we also have a kind of funny, the two rooks next to the king, like the famous epaulette mate in one of Morphy's games, where the king has sort of his two shoulders, it looks like, with the rooks, and the knight delivering a really nice checkmate. So, again, this is a totally winning, even before, we played this queen sack on f1. This is a totally winning position for black. Black has more material, has a mating attack, etc. But you always want to end your chess games in the fastest and cleanest way possible. And in this case, it's giving away the queen, forcing rook takes, and playing the semi-smothered mate. So hopefully you liked the video. We'll see you again next time for some cool positions and attacks.